we should do it. People can see us now, but yeah.
Okay.
My whole morning is thrown off, Caito.
Why?
They closed the pool at my gym. And while the swimming is one thing, the hot tub is really the thing that has thrown me off.
Wait, you've closed it forever?
I asked, is the pool closed? Or annual shutdown. That's all they gave me. Okay, this is my first September, shutdown. I guess. Is this a normal? I mean, I thank you, I guess, for probably scrubbing that thing clean. That's probably a good thing to do. Everybody's here already. Holy crap. Kevin, Tony, Anna, Antics, Seth, Bowser, everybody's here. Bowser? Am I saying that right, you think?
Yeah. You gotta say it just like that.
So I'm not happy. I did not get my hot tub today.
See, I would have had to ask for more detail.
I felt very put off. I felt like I should have known. They said it in a way it's the annual shutdown. Oh, well, excuse me.
I hate when people do that. Mm-hmm. I hate that.
Yeah. I immediately messaged Court. I know. I'm like, look, I'm upset about this. And he's like, I have so many questions. I'm like, I feel silly for not asking any of these questions. Okay. Nick Cat Bar is such a good name. My daughter calls them kitty cat bars.
Kitty cat? That's cute.
Yeah, no, not Kit Kat. She calls him Kitty Cat. Court, fix the pool. Kevin from Save the Game Media here twice, apparently. I need your help on that sweet... I saw your short on YouTube, and I like the way that it looks, and I want that, please. I don't often ask for, how do you do that? But, how do you do that?
Yeah, we're going to steal that, actually.
Yeah, just...
Send us a copy.
Find and replace.
PNG, and we'll just replace what needs
yes,
to be
please. Mm-hmm. We won't even replace it. We'll just put our stuff on top of it and just layer it.
You can see it underneath.
I can't Photoshop that out of there. Just put it all in.
Yeah.
ARGO is there. ARGO, we started a fantasy league for football fantasy, NFL. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about anything. But apparently I've got a pretty good team going, Caito.
This is NFL?
Mm-hmm. It's actually the Nook, what is it called? The Nook, oh man, where is it? It's in my list. Nook Co. Football League. So it's all Animal Crossing themed.
Animal Crossing Football League. Cute. Mm-hmm.
Emily is a beast in it, by the way. To be feared.
Yeah. She won last year, didn't she?
To be feared, for sure.
They sent me a picture with no context, and it was just some trophies, and I was like, what am I looking at? I don't know what this is.
Caito apparently hears way too much about it. Emily is the champ.
Yep. Just what? Well, speaking of Emily, Argo's been playing Cult of the Lamb. Mm-hmm. And last night sent us a picture. So Emily is one of the little things in the cult. And her little character was like, I've really been wanting to eat something made out of poop.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was just like...
Yep, that's a thing. It's a little quest.
What a cute little game. I kind of want to play it on my second channel and have all my cult members be my little mods.
It is Animal Crossing. Play it on your main channel. We should talk about it on this podcast that we do. Hey, Anna. Hey, everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most wholesome Nintendo podcast on the internet. It's the Nintendo Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Console Caito, the sauciest potato, and on our journey today, I was right, and we'll get on into it with the Nintendo Drive. Bah, maybe I'm right. We'll see. Bah. I might have jumped the gun maybe a little bit on the whole I was right, but I don't know. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on here, Caito. How are you doing?
I'm good. I hope you're wrong now. As much as I want a September Direct, I just hope that it's not here. I hope not my prediction. Back to October. Yeah.
How conflicting it must be for you to podcast with me.
Right.
Because you just want me to be wrong, but what I'm saying sounds like it would be pretty decent, I would say.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, we're back here. I'm not in a car this week. I'm back in my homestead. I missed the car though. That was kind of fun.
It was nice. It was a nice little change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my phone actually worked. Got reception.
It was good. No random cutouts where I'm just
Guessing.
winging it, guessing what they're talking about. Yeah. No, it was good.
Yeah. No. Good to see you.
Yeah.
7 in
So
the
they
morning.
haven't announced it yet.
No, not
Do you
yet.
think they're
not yet.
announcing it like right now, or they're going to announce it right after?
Where is their Tuesday morning random announcement that I usually get tagged in by this time? I guess I haven't checked Twitter in the last 45 minutes or so, which is exceptionally long for me.
True.
So nothing yet. But we were, as just before I started screaming, we were talking about Cult of the Lamb. I kind of wanted to get back to that because I like that this is kind of entering your sphere of conversation, and maybe we can convince you to play it on a channel or two of yours.
Yeah, I think I want to.
Yeah.
I like the incorporating the chat into it. I wish, because it seems like Twitch you
is
can
good.
really integrate. Mm-hmm. Why can't YouTube do this?
know.
I'm so frustrated with YouTube right now.
Uh-oh.
So I
It's early for this.
oh my gosh. The gifted memberships are broken. And
I saw that.
so I lost it.
And meanwhile, Twitch is like, they're doing September right now.
Doing September.
And it's
I
like
know.
popping. It's so good. I've logged in for like 6 months on a bunch of my favorite streamers. It's been amazing. Yeah, no. I know. And I jumped off of Twitch like to do stuff for Carpool Gaming's YouTube channel. I'm like, oh
Right.
no, like should have maybe one more month
Why
at Twitch.
is YouTube not doing September?
It's so easy to copy. Like just do it.
So easy.
Yeah.
I mean, don't call it September, but say, yeah, we've got discounts on memberships this month.
December ships. That's the one. Or November ships.
Right.
Do it in November.
But you have to have your gifted memberships working.
Big time.
And what was frustrating to me is they weren't working. And it was weird, like the progression of things, because for a couple days, it was very slow to start to hand them out to people. It used to be just instant. Like you'd get them and they'd go to people.
Yeah.
Then it was like it got slower and slower and slower until finally it just wasn't handing them out to people at all. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to contact the support. So I get on my little chat. Red flag number 1. Dude man didn't know what gifted memberships were.
Oh no, just close the window, get on to the next person.
I was like,
Dude,
what
man.
is happening? So the more we talked, he was like, okay, let me look into this. So he looked into it, found it. And then he was trying to convince me that only the creators can gift memberships. And I was like, no, that's not how it works.
Do you know who I am?
I was just like, that's not how it works.
Oh my gosh, that's so frustrating.
So then finally it got to the point where it was just like, okay, we're going to have to take this to an email conversation because he's going to have to look into it. But then it just never resolved to anything. It was just like, wait 2 to 3 days. I was like, okay, well, waiting isn't doing anything. So then I tweeted about it.
Yeah.
And
because you need to let people know that like you're aware of this, because it impacts you and your channel and everything, and like what people think of you.
And if nothing else, I would like for them to get a refund. Right. If they're not going to actually gift the memberships, then
the money's still being taken.
Where's the money going? If it's not going to me, if it's not going,
into Google Space.
Where did it go?
It seems like, as you mentioned, like things are kind of like slowly but surely coming apart. I just imagine some disgruntled Google technician just like unplugging cables in the back somewhere, and like one cable makes it go slower, another cable makes it not work altogether. Of course, it doesn't work like that, but
it's just frustrating when they don't take you seriously and they start to like blame the creator, like we're doing something wrong, or that my audience doesn't understand how it works. I'm like, they're all opted in. We know how this works. We've been doing it for a while. Yeah. There is something wrong. Like, can you please, like, just tell me, hey, we'll look into it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Well, not everybody is as fully functioning, Caito. Maybe you're talking to an AI, and that's where they're like, we need to move this to an email because real people do the emails. So you've been talking to a robot this whole time, and a lazy, mistrained robot, teenage robot. Oh, it's too bad.
Well,
YouTube is a small indie company. Please understand.
Oh my God. Speaking of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
You can watch us, listen to us and all of the Carpool Gaming podcast content on YouTube, youtube.com/carpoolgaming. We do have a review discussion for Splatoon 3. Sean and Rebecca from the Nintendo Shack. That'll be over here on YouTube and on podcast feeds. So look forward to that. That'll be coming soon. We have a comment of the week from JB, who says, I do get Caito's point about Animal Crossing, but that same logic could be flipped. I think they just want to put more effort into the new games instead of Animal Crossing. Say they do put more effort into AC&H, then people would be upset because they aren't putting enough effort into the new releases. And to use one singular game to promote everything Nintendo is kind of wild. If they didn't do it for Mario Kart, they ain't doing it for Animal Crossing.
But they are doing it for Mario Kart. What are you talking? JB, we need to break this thing down. Like, this might actually be a thing. I didn't think it was. We had lots of great comments on the show last week, by the way. One about maybe this being not so wholesome because I'm a little salty these days. But TJ, I see you. I appreciate you. You're a handsome man, but we're going to tackle JB, I think, right now.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yes, there is.
In this comment.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, okay, so when I initially read this comment, I thought JB was talking specifically about them focusing strictly on the next Animal Crossing game.
Right, same.
But now that I read it again, that's not what he's saying.
Yes.
He's saying every other game.
Yep.
Now, JB, come on. You're telling me they should take everybody away from Animal Crossing to focus on every other game? Are you kidding?
Yeah, yes, that's not how this works.
I don't care about every other game.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's another part of it. But yeah, like, it's not like, what else, even the Animal Crossing team, it's not like they made the game and then they went off and started making Star Fox or something. Like, they stick with Animal Crossing. So it's funny that you say that, because I read it the exact same way the first time, and as you were reading it, maybe it was a way you were reading, I took it the second way. So that's fascinating in and of itself. Yeah.
Well, and even if it was, here's my thing. I think if I had read this comment prior to the whole mod craze,
right,
and everything that's going on, I don't think I would have disagreed as much as I do right now. Because even if this was just talking about they're working on the next Animal Crossing game, which I feel like a lot of them probably are.
Yeah.
Look, these people in the community are pumping stuff out so quickly, I can't keep up with it.
Right.
We have new stuff every single day to download. And this is like between like 10 people.
Yeah.
You're telling me Nintendo can't have 10, 15, 20 people working on Animal Crossing stuff, New Horizons specifically, and then everyone else goes somewhere else?
Totally.
And work on whatever. Like, what?
Seth Sturgill just got me in the chat. It says, Tony Stark did this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I just can't understand. And I had a lot, I posted a tweet similar to this. Like, it's crazy to me that all Nintendo had to do to keep this community thriving was release a few items every now and then.
And we're like,
that's
thank you. Yes.
Do. And we would be begging for more constantly. And they just didn't do it. And I had some comments to that are like, they're working on the next game. They can do both.
Part of me thinks that it's more, it's like, because you're right, like, it can't be about the workload associated with a bunch of people creating items and pushing that onto the game. I feel like it has to be something more fundamental, like the game isn't built for that. That it will like collapse in on itself if they start adding
there's too much stuff.
Yeah, I think you see this with some, like, you see, like, not exactly the same thing, but like Call of Duty is 100 gigabyte download. Like, it's just enormous. It's just totally unwieldy. And so maybe that's just the reality, but it's also sad that they didn't have the foresight to just, they had so many years to take this game from the 3DS version and put it onto Switch, just, actually rebuild it. It just, maybe there's too much legacy architecture there that they can't build upon it, like The Sims or everything else.
And obviously we don't know when the next Animal Crossing game is coming. If it comes sooner rather than later, I'm gonna have to like come back to this conversation and be like, oh, okay,
now
that's
I
what
get
they
it.
were doing.
Sure.
Now I get it. Because the only argument that I was like, okay, I can kind of see that, was someone said maybe they don't want to spoil all of the things that they have coming.
Yeah.
Like maybe they have like all of these item sets planned for the next game and they don't want to spoil it all, but like there are endless amounts of items that you could put into the game, but that's just me. I don't know. I don't agree with this. And to say that Animal Crossing wouldn't be one of the best games to promote other Nintendo stuff, JB.
Yeah.
Can we bring you on the podcast so I can
Seriously.
fight with you?
I think that's what he's actually trying to do. Like, he may be trying to trick us here a little bit. Like, just get on here. He really struck a chord with this thing. It's like 2 sentences. You know, there's like maybe 150 characters here.
Because is he saying that Mario Kart isn't promoting other games?
That's how I read it.
It's got the other characters in it.
Characters, tracks, like it's kind, to me, it's actually the model. Not only does it not do it, it's like the best of it. I think that's, I mean, probably Smash is maybe the ultimate.
Number one.
Yeah, but like Mario Kart is there, and now everybody is like, where's Microsoft's version of this? And where's PlayStation's version of this? Anna says Caito wants a fight. Like, let's,
I do.
Like, it's early. We're still in the top third of our coffee. You guys got to take it easy with this.
Are you kidding? They did it once. They did the Mario thing, but it wasn't even to really push a Mario game.
Totally.
I don't know why they didn't link those two together. Maybe they didn't have any Mario content coming anytime soon. I don't know.
And I felt like that was what they were trying to kind of set into motion, was it didn't have to link to anything else. Like Link.
It's weird because New Leaf had so much of it. Like the Zelda items and all
I
this
can't
stuff.
imagine how you guys feel about, like, I'm sad and I don't even like really play Animal Crossing. Like, I roll credits. That's it. That's how I have to establish my cred. But that's it.
And I'm trying not to be sad about it because I'm happy with everything we got.
Yeah.
We got the big 2.0 update. But it just, knowing it could have been so much more is what's... And I just have to think that the next game is what they're focused on. And it's going to be
25% more better.
And it's got to be... I like, at this point, with the mods and everything, like, they're going to have to go above and beyond what they initially were going to.
You say that. I don't think so. I don't think they have to. I think they'll do, like I said, 25% better, and people will be back in, and it'll work, and it'll be fine. It'll sell millions of copies. And I think, you know, actually, I can't even say anything. I was going to maybe break embargo about a little something. Anna in the chat says, anyone else disappointed by Harvestella so far? I didn't even know it was out yet. I thought this game was still up and coming.
I don't know if it is out. I saw the trailer, and it didn't look very good. I saw because it was in that tree. It was in like a treehouse or something, not the treehouse. I don't know. It was in something.
Yeah.
And I saw a part of it, and it was just...
Oh, no. The Disney one comes out today.
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass. I'm going to play it on Xbox.
I got a code for it.
Ooh.
I'm going to play it on Steam.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
See, that's
we'll
where...
see how that goes.
I'm looking for the turn is basically where I'm looking. Because, you know, people commented on our saltiness last week, and I get it. You're going to get it every once in a while, okay, everybody? It's going to happen.
Sometimes you just got to be salty.
Sometimes we're very connected to Nintendo. We're very connected to this. We want it to be great. I think that's maybe one of the things that was lost in the conversation is we want it to be amazing. We want it to be the best in the world. So that's going to put us in
Again, it goes back to that conversation of, you know that your kid can do so much better and they're not applying themselves.
Oh, I was thinking of you. I was thinking of you yesterday. We were out with the kids, and Ellie's birthday is coming up, and it's Halloween is apparently right around the corner. And so Ellie's big into spiders. So she's decided that she wants a spider themed birthday, which happens in November. But everything is, she's the kid. This is so bad. She's got like a little like doll or like little toy, and the head pops off, and she's like, you just twist the head off. I'm like, my kid is a serial killer, just waiting to happen. She loves spiders. She loves all the creepy crawlies. She doesn't get freaked out by it at all, and it's half hilarious and half terrifying all at the same time. Anyways, we were out shopping, so Ellie gets a little like $2 spider, and she's really happy with the spider, but Lincoln didn't get anything, and he's just distraught. Like, every time we go to a new store, he's like, I don't have anything, and we try to be fair with all of them, and has put me in a predicament. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to go here, but let's go to GameStop, and there's probably something there for like, and I'm having the conversation in my mind. I hate the store, but I've got to make my son happy. Like, am I going to keep him from going to this happy place because I've got this personal vendetta against it? So we go in there, and right on the shelf, there was 2 Animal Crossing Switches, limited edition Switches available.
Limited edition. Mm-hmm.
Very cute. But yeah, it was one of those reminders that these limited things are just always around. And that's basically all I wanted to touch on.
One that was limited edition, the Mario Switch. The Mario edition, the red one.
The red Joy-Cons.
I wish I'd gotten that one.
Really?
It looks so good. The all red.
Yeah. Does the stand come in red as well? I don't remember that.
I think it's all red.
I have to look. It's a Mario red. It really is a special red.
It's a good red.
It's pretty good. Oh, my last slight against GameStop was even like he basically had full run of the whole store. I'm like, just go pick something just so that we can kind of get over this. And within reason, he saw some Squishmallow like blind things like when you like the little eggs. It was like $9. You get this little tiny thing. I'm like, sorry, buddy. Like that's ridiculous. That's not what we're doing today. We're not getting a random $9 Squishmallow plastic thing or whatever's inside there. But other than that, he couldn't find anything in all of their junk piles.
So he didn't even get anything?
Got nothing there. No. No. You know what he did get from Home Depot? He got a little like color swatch card. He was really happy with that. Nice. So that's where my kids are at. Like you don't have to spend $10 to make him happy. He got his favorite color and he was stoked about that. That was my weekend. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there, JB.
So there's that. Yeah. Thanks, JB, for your comment. We really appreciate it.
People, even when they're here live, I hope that they jump back into the comments afterwards because the video stays as a VOD. Yeah. But I love revisiting comments from this. We get lost in the live chat, great, of course. But yeah, if something strikes a nerve with you guys, hit the comments and we'll chat about it for sure.
Let us know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So saltiness out of the way. Reminder that you can support the show, get early access and exclusive perks at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. We want to thank our newest supporters, Ryan Craig and Sean Hennigan. Thank you so much for supporting us over there on Patreon. Now, Sean, what did you play this week?
I played a lot of Xenoblade when I was on vacation, and I feel like it's so complicated. Caito, this game is so hard. I remember, and it's such a drastic turn from my first impression to it was like, oh, this game is like onboarding me so well, and I understand the systems. And then it was like the next day when things started just like systems kind of stacking on top of each other. But I'm following the story so far, and that's my hint to myself that obviously something just horrendous is going to happen or totally complicated and nonsensical. I'm seeing, I think, Quagmire in the Discord, like finishing it at 170 bazillion hours.
Gosh.
Like, so I'm like 20 hours in or something like that. I'm still in chapter 3. I'm wandering around, figuring stuff out, and it's actually, oddly enough, some comfort food kind of gaming for me. Like, and it's the opposite of what I would expect from a JRPG because there are so many systems. There is so much to keep track of, but I can like throw it on for a half an hour and just kind of grind away and do battles and stuff. And it's a good time. But I don't know that I have too much more to like revelations about it. It's just that's when I turn on my Switch, that's what I'm playing.
Just been playing it.
Xenoblade. Yeah. Mario Kart's on the weekend. Splatoon probably coming up. We'll just go ahead and say that.
So you're going to buy it.
I'm not going to feel good about it. I have
like to. You're not going to buy it.
Well, then we talk like we have to
days
establish.
Today we're making the decision. Yes. Are you buying it or you're not buying it? Day 1 purchase. Yes. No. So Splatoon launches Friday, September 9th, by the way, for anyone listening.
So I feel like I'm not going to comment on whether yes or no I'm going to buy it day 1. People will and can check out our review discussion on it because that's really where I wanted to lead that decision. I was hovering on the pre-order on the weekend because Nintendo does the thing like get 2 times the coins or 10% more coins or whatever it is, and I was tempted by that, and I realized that I had a review discussion with Rebecca scheduled, so I'm like, why don't I actually ask her some questions? I thought it was a pretty genuine place for me to do the review discussion because I don't know about the game. I have a lot of like pointed questions that I got to ask her. So yeah, people can check out my review discussion on that when it pops up, and I get my answer by the end of that. So we'll say that.
Okay, when does that come up? Do you know?
I don't know if I can say, actually, but soon, before the release.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, I'm not on that, so I'm going to say
Rebecca
yes,
was very sad, by the way. Next time, we got to get you on.
I am buying it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm buying it day one. Should I go ahead and should I pre-order it so I get the extra little points?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, why wouldn't you? You're just going to miss out on the points.
True.
You're just going to miss out on the points.
Because I go back and forth mentally on whether I should buy it digitally or physically.
Same.
And I just, it's so frustrating.
That's a game that has to be on there all the time, though. Like Splatoon, you don't want to, like, I don't know.
Have to take,
go rummage for the cartridge somewhere. And
we talk about this all the time. I think I've just accepted that any game ever, I'm just going to have to buy it twice because.
Right.
I want it digitally, but I've run in so many times to where I'm trying to play the Switch, and now Aiden is very much into it. And it's like, he'll turn his on and it'll kick me out.
Oh, no.
And I'm just like
midstream.
This is ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, they've done it midstream before where it's been
like, no.
You can no longer play it. And I'm like, no. I'm like, Todd, turn the Switch off. You can't play at the same time.
You're basically right back to like internet, like dial-up internet. Like, don't pick up the phone. Like, don't turn on the Switch. It'll ruin everything.
So frustrating. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it day one.
There you go. Well, I think it's gonna be a big release. Like, everybody's talking about this thing. Holy crap.
Okay. Breaking news.
Oh, breaking news even for you. Court Lalonde with the super chat, $2 super chat, says you two are awesome. Oh. Thank you, Court Lalonde. You don't have to do that.
Court.
You don't have to do that, Court Lalonde. Look at this guy.
Breaking news. Nick Cat Bar.
Yeah.
Super chat. Here for salty coffee time on Tuesdays. Love you both. Love the content. Thank you so much.
Nick Cat Bar, that is very sweet. It makes me think that we need to put like salty coffee.
Salty coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Like salted caramel, like sea salt caramel coffee.
Yeah.
That's going to be my new invention.
That's some good merch.
Pumpkin spice. That is some good merch. Yeah. Okay. Somebody write that down. Court, write that down. Somebody, where's my whiteboard? You nail up the next story, whatever we're doing. I'll jot it down.
Okay. Breaking news. Rumor. This is a rumor that Sean has taken as fact.
It's facts.
So last week on the show, Sean declared that Nintendo would host a Nintendo Direct no later than 10 days after Splatoon 3's release. And then after that, video game journalist Jeff Grubb spoke about a Nintendo Direct taking place at some point in September. No official announcement, but Jeff has elaborated on his original comments, reiterating that Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess re-releases would likely be part of the focus, including a possible name reveal of the Breath of the Wild sequel.
That last part is nuts. The first part is especially special because I was so right. I will be right. It just makes sense. I saw it clear as day. Look, remember when I was driving my car and I said I'm in a special place in Canada. It's a beautiful place, and the world was telling me at the moment within 10 days. I even said even 10 days I feel like was too much. I gave myself too big a window. You could have called me out on that. But definitely a September Direct just makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I think before the end of September.
Yeah, before the end of, I don't know, the next...
I'm sorry. No, I'm just so tired of these. I'm so tired
Usually I'm with you, but I said it first.
There's one of these every year in September, and because this Grub guy decided to say, oh yeah, there's definitely going to be one. And the thing is, if he's right, everyone's like, oh... this guy knows everything.
He tends to be right.
If he's wrong,
there's nothing.
Everyone just swipes it under the rug, and everyone's like, oh, on to the next. And then they'll predict the next thing until they're right about it.
The thing about Jeff Grubb is he is a teddy bear in a human form. He is a Care Bear. He is I don't know. He probably has faults like anybody else, but he seems very sweet to me. And he is right about this sort of thing. He is the type of person where I'm like, who is telling him this stuff? This gets out. Like, who's telling him, like, hey, Jeff, like, just between us, I'm going to tell you this thing. And he's like, got it. Totally between us. And he's like crossing his fingers the whole time like a child. Like, no.
Yeah.
Who's telling him this stuff? I don't understand it.
It has to be. You don't think it's like the fix is in? You don't think it's like they're purposely leaking stuff so people talk about it?
I have thought about that. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that's a real thing? That'd be a careful game, though.
I think so, because let's just, okay. I've signed NDAs before. I'm not going to tell anybody. Yeah. I was terrified.
Totally.
I signed an NDA and I was like, my lips are, and normally I'm like chatty Cathy, but I was like, an NDA? No. And Nintendo is making people sign NDAs on anything that they're working on.
Yep.
So like, who is realistically consistently leaking everything? It has to be on purpose.
I guess the only thing I can think of is that, like, sometimes, especially with Nintendo being maybe Japanese, it's like this far off land, this totally separate culture instead of people who are working on these games. But there are real people working on these games or marketing these games. And so it's a tightly knit group. And maybe these people are just friends and they're just like chatting around, having coffee or whatever. This is their lives. So they're just talking shop. So I don't know. That's the only thing I can really like put my mind around it.
But it's so consistent. I know. I could see it if it happened like once every now and then.
I know.
But like consistently.
Splatoon and people, there's heads up we should give to people too. Like Splatoon, if you care about the campaign or story beats or anything, like spoilers are out there for Splatoon, which is so weird to say that sentence. God of War on PlayStation, like spoilers are out there. Like the campaigns for these things, these story beats get out there. That I find more troubling than there's a direct coming.
Yeah.
And this is very personal to everybody, what they consider like a spoiler. And I was even wondering if this is something that we should talk about to let people know that there's some confident rumor out there that there's a direct coming up. Some people just want to be very surprised. They wake up in the morning and go like, here it is. But you know what? I already told you. So maybe I already ruined it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean's actually the disgruntled employee at Nintendo.
Yeah.
Who's leaking everything to Jeff Grubb.
This is why I don't have time for anything else.
It's you.
Shut down this thing. Take off my mask.
You force yourself to be wrong a lot of the times just to make it look like it's not you.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bluff.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
What about the Breath of the Wild name? Like, okay, because it kind of keeps going. Like
okay,
I stopped
just the
with
name.
Mm-hmm.
No, they got to show me something.
Oh, okay.
They just like flash. Are you kidding me? You've already that worked. That's cute. It works the first time. Like Metroid Prime 4. Oh yeah, cool. It's just the name. But you've already shown me part of the game.
I need more Caito dude bro voice.
Like, you've got to show me more than that. Like that's ridiculous.
That's amazing. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing, Cindy.
It can't just be a little flash.
So you think, because let's break it down. We've really just talked about me being right that there's going to be a direct, but it's going to be it's going to be Zelda focus, which this is where I give Jeff Grubb a little bit more credit for being like having, putting himself out there to say that. I just said there's going to be a direct and they're going to tell us something, and could be Donkey Kong, it could be anything. But he's like, it's going to be focused on Zelda. We're going to get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD the second time around. And then he keeps going with this Breath of the Wild thing. And I feel like they really could not give you any new gameplay and just go, here's like the box art or here's the logo. And it's called, Breather of the Wild or Die Harder. I don't know. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. I feel like they could, but especially if the previous part of the direct is focused primarily on Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, which I want to focus on as well. But let's do Breath of the Wild first.
Kevin said, what if it's actually called the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or New Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild?
Oh, God help us all.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Oh, my God. That would be amazing. In another world, in another universe. That's exactly Breather of the Wild.
I went off on a whole tangent about whoever's in charge of naming systems. Okay, here's how it started. And then we'll get back to Zelda, I promise.
Exhale of the Wild.
Okay. So, should I expose this person?
Oh.
Okay. There's someone in the community who may or may not have not known why the Switch is called the Switch. And I just found that so hard to believe.
It's so cute.
But then they were streaming, and a bunch of people in the chat also didn't know why the Switch was called the Switch. I was just like,
that's adorable.
I thought it was so funny.
It's like the most obvious, like of all the naming,
systems.
All the, it's like that's the one. It's like
not
on
like the 3DS,
nose,
like the dual screen or whatever. You know, like
even
those
that's
are
pretty
harder
dang close.
to pick up.
Aw.
So,
what were they? I want to know, like, what were they thinking when they heard Switch? Like, what came to mind?
I think they just didn't even think that it had a reason.
It
was just called the Switch.
Random word generator. Yeah.
Drop their channel.
List
Look,
names.
We'll see if they listen. We'll see if they listen. They come for me.
Yeah. Share with the class.
So, where was I going with this? Oh,
Why,
I was talking
the naming.
I was talking about the naming of systems. Like, who is doing this? Because the Switch to me has a great name. It had great marketing behind it. I really like everything about it. And just some of the other ones. Who is in charge of naming this? Because I think we were talking about, like, what's the name of the next console going to be?
Right.
And I was like, I was adamant, like, it needs to just be the Switch 2.
Agreed.
Like, they just need to get on board with the PlayStation naming cycle, and you just keep going, and you don't try to innovate anymore.
Yep.
Like, you can make small adjustments.
The next
as
iPhone was
advances.
the iPhone 4, the iPhone 5. Yeah.
Just Switch 2. Just come on. Please, please, please don't name it something stupid.
Yeah.
Because there was no worse time working as a GameStop employee than when we had the new Nintendo 3DS.
Yep.
And I had 3DS systems that were new and used. And then I had new Nintendo 3DS systems that were new and used. So I had to figure out, okay, do you want a 3DS or you want a new 3DS? Do you want it new or used?
That is
do you want
painful.
a new or a used new?
Cats going bonkers.
Cats are fighting. The cats are mad about it. My cats are mad.
That was Reggie's big middle finger to GameStop. He's like, I see you guys. I see you selling our games discounted, used. We don't get a cut of it. Take this.
Yeah. So all that routes back to
Breath of the Wild.
Please don't name this something stupid.
What if it's Breath of the Wild, like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, something else, like even more distracting than that? Could be. Or what if it's just Breath of the Wild? Like all this build
Breath
up.
of the Wild 2.
It's just Breath of the Wild 2. That would
Why
actually
can't it be?
I feel only because there's been all this build up. Like we're not going to tell you the name of the sequel. So instead of it being called the sequel to Breath of the Wild, it's called the Breath of the Wild 2. That would actually be amazing.
Right.
Please do. I feel like that's a Simpsons episode of some sort back in the day.
Yeah.
Please. Yes. I would love it.
Because the thing is Nintendo even building it up? Or is it just us building it up?
I think just by not saying anything, then it makes it a big deal. You know, like we're not like it just there's a curtain.
It's like Project Triangle Strategy. What's it going to be called? Triangle Strategy.
They reveal it. It's the same thing. It's just they've clearly not wanted to reveal what it is. So yeah, it drives intrigue. How can it not? It's one of the biggest and most important games. Is going to be people are going to imitate it for forever and ever. Every open world game is now Breath of the Wild. So yeah, everything matters.
But you see his wording.
Whose? JB's?
Okay, Jeff Grubb.
Oh.
Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess releases would likely be part of the focus, including a possible name reveal. Like, I could write this. I could say this. Look, and I'm not discounting Jeff Grubb. I didn't even know who it was.
I kind of like that you don't know who he is. It's better, actually.
I didn't know who he was until this morning, okay? I am not versed in
No, this is good.
in all of this, right? So as an Animal Crossing YouTuber, that's my only title. I can make the same. I can make the same statement.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it's right.
Likely, possible.
Because apparently those things have been ready for a long time. Now, I want to ask you about this. Now that we've kind of totally kicked the Breath of the Wild to death, I think. Do you think that we get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess as a single package, like a double pack? Are they going to sell them to us separately for $60 each? Like, what do you think of that remake situation?
If they announce them at the same time, it's going to be a dual pack, in my opinion.
I feel like...
Oh, my gosh. You don't agree?
Well, I could see them doing it just to almost, like, get it done with in a weird way. I'm trying to think of, like, why...
Well, and I think if they do it that way, it kind of, like, alleviates a little bit of the... If it's bad, well, hey, we gave it to you in a double pack.
Right. But why, like, so last year we got, the whole reason I started thinking about this direct, and, like, I was like, we've gone a year without Zelda, so that's where last week people might remember me maybe saying basically the same thing as Jeff Grubb. It's basically the same thing. But we've gone this whole year without it, and why would we get a single pack for Skyward Sword, which was on the Wii, but then start to include the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, like, together? Like, my OCD brain doesn't like that that's different for some reason.
Okay, are they on the same system or they're different systems?
Twilight Princess was a Breath of the Wild situation, actually. Like, it launched with the Wii, but it was also available on GameCube. It was, and really the Switch, the Wii, I should say, it was a GameCube, just with motion controls. Like, the innards of it were basically the same thing. But yeah, so that's the only way that I could really wrap my head around it, is if they go, technically Twilight Princess was a GameCube game, so was Wind Waker. So here's your GameCube Zelda games put together, I guess. And not that I'm, like, looking to spend $120 on Zelda. Like, I obviously would like to get a value, but I guess I don't see Nintendo doing that.
They can only justify it if they've actually, like, put effort into it, though.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they've done enough to justify $120?
Did you play the Skyward Sword one? I don't remember.
No.
I feel like I was okay with it. And I might just be, last week I was going after Nintendo about Splatoon and everything. Like, here I'm like, I was fine with the $60 Skyward Sword. Like, I don't know. I was okay with it. And that might just make me this week I'll be the stupid fanboy, and last week I'll be the hater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're both on board with that. I don't know. I go back and forth.
I know.
Do I like re-releases? I don't know.
But it's all about timing of Breath of the Wild is really the important piece. If it's a single pack, they can get it over with, and maybe even this holiday season, and then maybe spring is sequel for Breath of the Wild. But if they have these two games that they've got to release over the next however many months, like, it kind of impacts.
Do you think we'll get a release date for Breath of the Wild?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No, I really do think that's a good way for them. Like, I really like their January, February directs, where they go, here's what's in store for this year. And I think that's much more of a next year thing. They don't need to do it right now.
Yeah.
We got lots of stuff to buy. We saw Bayonetta that people think is going to score like 90 on Metacritic. I feel like there's one other game, obviously Splatoon. I'm not sure, but yeah, they've got lots to talk about. They don't really. Oh, Mario & Rabbids. I keep forgetting about this game.
Oh yeah.
And so once Splatoon hits, we're gonna start moving on to the next thing. So we got to take it one step at a time.
Agree.
Your cat's like fighting for your love.
Oh my god!
Some sort of hierarchy over there.
What's going on in the background? Yeah. Okay. We do have a couple questions that I want to get through because these are from last week. We didn't get to them. Hopple over in Discord asks, would the same button layout functions? Would there be the same button layout function on the controller for Switch like Xbox and PlayStation? What I mean, the same position, for example, confirming with A, canceling with B. So, like, do we want them to be the same layout? I
used to be a little bit more sensitive to this, but it's a weird thing. Like, I kind of get why A is where it is and that it's moving forward. Like, it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, it's actually more in like the move forward. If you read left to right, like we do in North America, like that makes sense to me. I think maybe what Hopple might be referring to as well is in Japan, I think I'm getting this right. PlayStation was more like Nintendo, where that button would progress forward, and they moved it to the confirm button being kind of like that bottom one, if that makes sense. I don't really care. I just know when I'm playing Nintendo, that's the way it is. So it doesn't really bother me.
So is it the same on Xbox and PlayStation?
Xbox and PlayStation are the same. Yeah, if you're looking at like the buttons as like, you know, the A button on Xbox, which is the cross button on PlayStation, which is the B button on Nintendo, that is confirm on Xbox and PlayStation. So if you have like your brain can do some funky things if you have all the systems. Yeah.
I feel like it's just once you play a game enough, it just comes naturally no matter what you're playing. Like if I switch from system to system, it's just like
I know
my brain immediately. But if you ask me, like, hey, I can't tell you the buttons.
I just burned 50 calories trying to explain that to you because it's like that was really hard to do. Like, wait a second. Save the Game Media in the chat says in Japan on PlayStation, the circle button was their X button. So yeah, so the circle button is where A is on the Nintendo controller. That was confirmed, but I think they changed that so that's universal now.
Okay, that makes sense.
These are the things we worry about, you know?
Yeah. Okay, Famous Seamus asks, a few weeks ago, the developers of DBD released a dating sim spin-off of DBD. If you had to choose one Nintendo franchise to get a dating sim spin-off, which would you choose?
Ooh.
What?
That is like
what?
A dating sim. That's a great, I feel like Animal Crossing comes to mind, actually. I feel like it kind of already is.
Really?
Yeah, like you like, come on, move into my island, like be part of my cult. Maybe a little bit.
Oh my god.
It gets weird no matter where you go with it. Fire Emblem kind of already is it's got a bit of that dating sim kind of flavor to it, going for tea time.
I just feel like these games are not
you like don't even want to tackle it. You don't
They're not. Yeah. I don't know. Argo says, hooked on you, a Dead by Daylight dating sim. You date the killers.
No, is that a real game? I thought he was making that up. Is that a real thing?
I think that's what he's saying it is. The dating sim spin-off of Dead by Daylight.
I feel like maybe this is what the Nintendo sports games are missing. It needs Splatoon's getting its card game. Put a dating sim. So you play a little tennis and then see what are you doing after the tennis game?
Argo played it apparently.
Oh, everybody. I love all the people say it's a real game. It's a real game. Like,
yeah.
You know, huh? I just want to see Luigi.
I can't think of a single. I don't know. Because like I have the Sims if I want to do something like that. Okay, well, and
this is a whole world of video games we need to have you part of, Caito. Just forget it's weird. Sim. It is weird, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah. No, it's weird.
You too tired from tennis to do anything?
Okay. Last question. Let's move on from the dating sims. And Sam asks, follow up to my question a few weeks ago about people porting Switch games to the Steam Deck. I was referring to people doing it illegally. That's why I felt it was a bit frustrating as a Nintendo fan. Also, what is your favorite type of fast food to have when playing a Mario game and why?
I don't really eat food while playing games. I think it's greasy. Like I'm stupidly obsessed with like the grease factor on my hands, whether it's like food or lotion or whatever. Like,
yeah, drink, yes.
Yeah,
greasy food, no.
Not even.
Like I can't think of anything. I mean, sometimes when I'm streaming, I'll just eat like a Nutri-Grain bar or something because I can keep it in the package and
just crinkle away. What is with that packaging?
It's so crinkly.
It's so loud. Have you ever noticed that before?
Yeah.
You're like just trying to like, it's to keep dads out of like the kids' Nutri-Grain bars because we're like midnight just trying to get in.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. They don't want you eating at the movie theater. It's no good. Yeah.
Okay, so we just don't eat while we play video games. Apparently.
I want pizza. I will say that. Like I would like when I'm playing, especially with like Ninja Turtles coming out with a bunch of games these days. I want like a big honkin' pizza. That's what I crave.
Yeah. It's just hard to do while you're playing a game.
Big time.
I had to scold Aiden for trying to do it. I was like, you're not going to play while you're eating. Mm-hmm. You're going to eat and then go wash your hands and then you can play.
The fact
there's already like little... It's already on his Switch, just like little, I don't even know what's on there. It's like dirt and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh,
our kids are not
already getting dirty.
Our kids are not allowed to play handheld. They get their own $20 controllers. They're tiny. They're from GameStop. They're awesome for them, for their small little hands. And that's their controllers. You guys can drop them. You can do whatever you want with them. But yeah, no food.
They don't have like a little Switch Lite?
No.
He has a Switch Lite. It is in like a very protective case. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can just like clean the case and it'll be all good. But
yeah, no, Their 2DSs, if it's any indication, like their 2DSs are a sign that they are not ready for a Switch Lite. It's just not happening. Those things are in terrible shape. Oh my gosh.
Gross, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all we have for today. So Sean, where can everyone find you on the internet?
You can find me right here, youtube.com/carpogaming, but mostly on Twitter at twitter.com/Sean Capri. It's Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. And I'm glad that you finally wrangled this. This cat was oh, hi. Aw.
Yeah.
Does your cat have an Instagram that people should follow?
No, she doesn't. But I do. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at Console Caito. That's all for episode 71 of the Nintendo Drive. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, make sure you let us know in the comments if you're going to be buying Splatoon 3 on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Here we go!